So we're gonna make a 1 pound nozzled. This is not a nep, it won't fit the tube supports. This is just a thick wall. I usually make gerbs or fountains, whatever you want to call them, and stuff out of these whistles. So we gotta be careful not to overpress, but we're gonna make a green flame rocket motor with green strobe, and then it'll finish with green flame, or I might throw some titanium sparks in there or something. But this is a nozzled rocket motor that we're going to run strobe through, so it works pretty good. Hopefully this one does. So let's give it a whirl. Tooling set. This is a hybrid tooling set. Woodies, of course. One pound is my favorite size motor, and they have served me well. They got good power. Hopefully this green flame rocket fuel has the thrust I'm looking for. So we're going to make a nozzle first. Of course, I have waxed the spindle. So we're going to take, this is ground up kitty litter, bentonite clay. That's what it is, volcanic ash. I use a magic bullet to grind all my stuff, and this old kitty litter from the dollar store, pretty cheap. Takes a little bit to build this nozzle up, so to get this thing sitting nice and straight and tight, I'll go ahead and press what I've got in there. And I'll take the gauge to about, since it's not supported, these tubes will take about 2,000 pounds or so without too much crush. I go by feel. I can feel when it's ready to stop pressing. Bentonite started compressing, and I'm running out of spindle there, so I got to do another little dose. You don't ever want to try to press more. The compressed compound or clay shouldn't exceed the inside diameter of the tube you're making a motor out of. So it's a 3/4 bore, so this one here actually takes 1.25 inches or so of bentonite to equal that first mark for the nozzle. I don't know if you can see it real good. Yeah, see, at 2,000 pounds, she swells up pretty good. So I'm going to back off to about 1,800 pounds, and it should press the rest of the way okay if I don't push it any harder than that, or it's going to blow out immediately. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So first dab of regular green flame rocket fuel. I'll go with, it's almost a flat spoonful. I'll take it nice and slow, and just kind of ease it toward 2,000, stop it short, 1,750. Sounds like a good number to me. Like I say, you can feel it when it wants to harden up or blow out, so I'm bouncing that on about 1,750. It did increase 3/8 of an inch, and it did not blow out anymore. Drop my dang T-handle, so we'll continue with this motor. I think she'll stay together if I'm careful. Small increments. We'll run first and second rammer, all green fuel, green flame. And then we'll switch on the third rammer for strobe. And then on the final solid rammer, we'll put some green flame back in it for the top end of the flight. Now I'm just gonna secure this to a pipe and just test to make sure she strobes out good with these pressures. Now she's starting to go pretty good, so I found that magic number of this tube, and it almost seems like these cheap thick wall tubes all have a slightly different max they're willing to go. And I'm pretty sure I found it trying to put that nozzle in there. As long as you don't wrinkle out too much, I go back with UV resin on the outside of these tubes sometimes if I feel like they're acting a little weak or a little thin, and harden them up. Yeah, it's pressing good. It's perfect little dimples down. That's what you want. One more increment on the first rammer and we'll switch to rammer 2. They don't take as much fuel as you think they would either. Not with the fat spindles I run. See, I'm bouncing that up higher and higher. Perfect. Looks good. You can tell there's fuel in there, but it's not separating the tube. So now we'll switch to rammer number 2 and continue with the green flame. Usually about 3-4 spoonfuls. Depends on the density of the fuel or the compound for each rammer. They're mostly hollow anyway, so yeah, there we go. Just taking it pretty good like that. Oh yeah. Looks like I may have to get more of the green flame fuel out. This is the green flame I've been testing and the green strobe I've been testing. I'm combining them into a full power rocket motor tonight for y'all. It's been a few days. I have some business to take care of. It's time to get my mind off stressful things, so I'm building something tonight. I'm definitely going to have to get more fuel out. It's all right, I got 400 grams of it right there in a baggie, so. Now this strobe I'm using is a different compound than usual. It's a little slower burning, so I think that the green flame fuel is going to help mediate that and speed it up a bit. Getting some more fuel ready, so I don't have to have a bunch out. Just enough. Hopefully this strobe, I usually run it solid in one of these tubes just to make it, you know, a fountain, but it'll be hollow this time, and I think that's going to increase burn rate. So I almost forgot where I was. You know what? Sometimes when you lose track for a moment, just make sure, yes, I've already pressed it. So I didn't want to squib load it, double load it, and then have a void or something, and those cause KDOs, and I don't feel like building another one tonight, wasting time and fuel. So we're going to get it right the first time. Yeah, this fuel is about 3.5 spoons per, and that strobe don't compress near as much. and neither does my black powder, because I run my black powder high density. And if you don't know the difference is, if you make black powder and you light it, even if you granulate it, just screening or whatever, it doesn't burn as fast as you see a lot of guys. Well, that's because they compress it into pucks first, and then they grind it up with no corn grinder or something. And that's high density black powder, and that's the good stuff. Trade secret. I don't know if it's a real big secret, but there is a difference. All right. So that's rammer number 2. And to be safe, to make sure I don't have a motor that just strobes too long and lets it fall to the ground. Well, this one's not going to fly, but if it was going to fly, I want to make sure that that strobe burns out fast enough and doesn't drop one in on something and start a fire or whatever. Usually the whole third rammer is all strobe. I'm actually going to go a little more than that. It's just barely, the line is just above the lip, so I want to get just about another 1/8 of an inch or so, and then we'll get the strobe. All right, it's like almost a 1/2 spoon, 3/8, or yeah, 3/8 of a spoon or so, and that should give me an 1/8 an inch above the line. I'm right at 2,000 pounds there. That's taking it good. So yeah, now there's an 1/8 inch. And then here comes the strobe. I like to do strobe in smaller increments, so about a 1/2 spoon. Switch rammers. Third rammer. Yep. You'll see here, it won't compress very far. It's already tightened up. Give it a couple good 4 or 5 bounces. This strobe is definitely tamer than what I normally run on a strobe rocket. And it just don't have quite the slap as regular strobe, but it has very, very good color, excellent color. Now this arbor press I'm using is my antique vintage Dake 15B, and I can build up to 3-pound whistle rockets and strobe rockets, no problem. I'll throw a 3-pound 30-inch rocket tube on this handle to give me just a little more leverage so I can control it better. But other than that, it's a 1938. It's nearly 100 years old. It's big too. Weighs about 250 pounds. Good old American cast iron. Yep. Okay, this is going to take it 2 more increments. Basically what I got right here in my little container. And it'll be full of strobe that I need. So you can make, this is identical how I make black powder rockets, but you can have strobe black powder rockets with this strobe formula. You don't see them a whole lot. It's usually almost always whistles. I like to be different, so I may have to actually get just a 1/2 an increment of strobe back out too. See how much that does. You just want to press it, the strobe, just above the line in your last rammer, there's two little lines at the top. You want to go to the second little line, not the first one. And that gives that strobe a moment or so before above the strobe fuel kicks in. So I am at the line. So yes, I'm going to need just a tiny bit more of the green strobe. Now this strobe green, the color is going to be slightly brighter than the green flame, but the green fuel above it should help with that just a little. Tell you a little secret about this fuel. This strobe is white, and I colored it. You can color existing strobes. You just got to know how to do it. Your regular rocket white strobe is pretty hot fuel, so you got to be careful of that. So here's where we're going to try to reach that little line. I'm already past it. That means I'm almost to the tip of the spindle. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a smidge more to make sure I don't make contact, because what you don't want to do on a rocket set is make metal to metal contact with metal fuel on the tip of that spindle. It not only ruins your spindle, but it can ignite it. I was hammering a black powder rocket 3-pound one time and forgot I had titanium in it for sparks, and I made contact, and I promise you it exploded very, very big. It about took my clothes off of me. And that is no exaggeration. That is perfect. It's right on it. So now we're on my last rammer here. We're going to swap back to regular green flame fuel to cap off that strobe. Give it something to burn against. And then we were going to go test fire this thing. And this is all salted above it, so 1 full spoon should get me pretty far. I'll probably put 2 in it and then put a clay plug on top. Yeah, that's got me pretty far. So you see it sink. Okay, one a good increment like that and cap it, and then I'll pull it off that spindle. These 1 pounds I can do by hand. I don't need a spindle remover. 3 pound, absolutely. Okay, that is going to be enough green. Press this down. That's pretty good. That's almost all the way. I'm happy with that. Now we'll throw a little bit of clay. I almost want to put a stick on this, but I think we're still in a burn ban here. I don't want to risk getting anybody out here and have them explain why I'm shooting green lasers or something. I hope that's what it looks like. It's green lasers or something flying. All right. So that is a completed motor. And I'll show you how I get them off by hand. This is a co-het block set. I just happened to be sitting here. And I'll turn this sucker on its side. And then I'll pull down my ratcheting handle and get some pressure on it to hold it. And then I just lean against the handle, grab it with both hands, and firmly twist. And that wax releases that motor. So let's go shoot it. It looks like it's going do what it's supposed to. Nothing's busting out or anything. There'll be a short when I film this real quick.